Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ug sa Bisaya pa, maayong buntag mga katambay. Unsa pa inyong gihalat? Ali na, listen to another episode here with me in Tambay with Janey. For our third episode here at Tambay with Janey, we will be discussing the good points we can get from the anime and live action titled One Piece. Now, for those anime fanatic, for sure nakapanood na kayo ng Netflix live action. But for those na hindi pa, I do recommend that you watch it. There are a lot of good points for leadership na matututunan. And in relation to leadership, let us not forget to exercise our rights to vote for our SK and barangay leaders. The 2023 barangay elections will be held this Monday, October 30th. And in fact, the campaign period officially started last October 19th and will end on the 28th. Kaya mga katambay, let's be responsible citizens. Let's vote the leaders we think and feel will lead us to success. Our third episode is about Team One Piece. So if hindi pa kayo nakakapanood ng live action ng anime ng One Piece na to in Netflix, I do recommend na panoorin niyo po. The movie give us pointers in becoming a great leader without forgetting our own dreams and especially our team goals. We could also learn from this movie that, leaders or what characteristic makes a great leader. For me, Luffy was a great example of a leader. So, what makes a great leader? How can one be an effective leader? Well, there's a lot of books, authors, even articles enumerating a lot of characteristics that a great leader should possess. Pero ano nga ba ang hinahanap natin sa isang leader? Well, ako personally, I have my own list of what I want my leader to have. And I believe iba-iba po tayo ng mga qualities na hinahanap sa isang leader. So for me, I have my top 3 characteristics that I love to see sa mga leaders that I look up to. Number 1 on my list is respect. Treating people with respect on a daily basis is one of the most important things I look forward in a leader, or one of the most important leaders can do. It actually creates a culture of respect in a team, wherein respect can be seen in different ways. But usually, or it often starts with simply being a good listener. It is when you seek to understand the perspective of others. So for me, regardless if you are in a team or not, a person should learn to respect others. Sabi pa nga nila, respect is not imposed. Regardless of gender, age, status, we need to show respect. So second for me would be communication. Now, in one article I've actually read, it says that effective communication and effective leadership is intertwined. Kaingon pa nila, the quality and effectiveness of communication among leaders across any organization would directly affect the success of their strategy, or kumbaga, yung mga paraan nila. And for me, that is actually true. I do agree on that. Great leaders should be and are actually skilled communicators who are able to communicate and transmit information to inspire others. Um, I actually remembered that sometime in my past employment, I remember having a conversation with each of our team members before. It is when we or our team is actually transitioning from our old manager to a new team lead, and our manager actually requested me to accompany our new team lead in talking to our new team members as a senior. As a senior member daw, it would make the team members at ease. And as our new team lead, communicates to each of our teammates, I can see in their reaction the distrust and hesitation. And seeing these reaction, I totally have to step in to make sure that they fully understand and trust the process and the changes, uh, letting them know that these changes are being made not to disrupt the team, but instead to make our team successful, even more successful. But guys, I'm not sharing this to compare who is better in leading, but I'm sharing this because it is a good example of what effective communication can do to a team. Communication in general can either cause positive impact and negative. Kaya nga ito is kaya communication is on my top two on my list. This is something that we really need to improve every day, regardless if we are a leader or just a member. Third would be influence. Well, influence is not the same as to manipulate or manipulative. Iba naman yun. In another article that I've read, um, they defined influence as being able to convince people through an influencing tactics of logical, emotional, or cooperative appeals is an important trait of inspiring as an effective leaders. They also wrote there that influence needs to be done authentically and transparently, and it requires emotional intelligence and trust. An example would be Mayor Soto of Pasay City. If you can remember during the pandemic, many have praised Mayor Soto on how he takes care of his community. His ways was being replicated as well by other leaders sa ubang pang mga cities. Clearly, it is his influence and his good deeds and strategies that make him stand out among different mayors in the Philippines, and it makes him an example of a great leader. For me as well, the way Mayor Soto uses his influence is not forcing others to do the same thing, but instead it inspire other local leaders to do the same by being, a good example of a leader he is. How effective his way shows in his community, 'di ba? Kung kumbaga if merong happy wife, happy life, meron na ring happy constituents, happy city life. So again, my top three essential leadership qualities that I look for would be one, respect, second would be communication, and third, influence. Again, sabi ko nga kanina, marami pang ibang qualities na mababasa natin from different books and even discussion from coaches and authors. But for me, this is my top three list that I would always look for in a leader. And this is something that I also work on improving in myself. This quality is also shown or also shows in the live action of One Piece. So sa mga na hindi pa nakakapanood, again, I do recommend na panoorin niyo po yung movie. So in the movie, Luffy as an individual and as a leader respects his crew's own goals. He respects his crews by not assuming but instead listening to them. One of my favorite scene in the movie is when Nami was stabbing her arms, where yung saan part ba yun, yung makikita yung tattoo ng tribe ni Arlong. Arlong is one of the by the way, one of the villain sa movie. So on that scene, Nami was trying to stab again her arms, but she was stopped by Luffy. And one of the lines on that scene was that Nami said to Luffy that you don't know anything about what's going in here. And you know what? What Luffy replied is just the word "I don't." So this simple reply uh, was actually showing a lot of things, especially the qualities essential to a leader or essential to leadership. Um, as we all know, leaders most of the time, based on my experience, always ask too many questions. What's the context? What's the context? And to the point that it irritates us as a team member. Although it's not that leaders should not ask questions, however, they should ask appropriate question, having in mind the qualities I've mentioned kanina that leaders needs to have in mind when asking these questions, to be respectful and to effectively communicate. This would then influence the person they're talking to, or they're actually communicating um, to also communicate with him or her genuinely as well. Kasi nga, di ba, if we feel honest yung mga leaders natin and that they respect us as a member, as a person, or as a member of the team, we tend to open up to them easily. And in that way, the leaders does not have to force his ways. Yung member pa yung magvo-volunteer. So another scene, or another favorite scene, I would say in the movie or the live action One Piece is uh, uh, the line that Luffy again delivered when Zoro was captured by the Marines. So while nakahukot si Zoro sa isa ka poste, Luffy was actually trying to sneak in the Marine headquarters to find the map of the Grand Line. Actually to steal the map of the Grand Line. And on their conversation, Luffy asked Zoro, "Is that all you are? Is that all you want?" And this question, this is because Zoro was actually telling Luffy that he was a pirate hunter. And this questions was actually delivered by Luffy not in a judgmental type of way, but more of a curious and at the same time encouraging. And that question made Zoro confess that he wants to be the greatest swordsman. Another example of an effective communication. So to also share, di ba as a leader, we always have the hard time telling our team members to participate in, company activities. I have these experience before. Well, our team was actually not forced to participate, and this activity that I'm actually describing would be for a Halloween costume contest within our company. A good example kasi mag-Halloween na rin naman. So in our department or in our company, they need representative on each department na sasali sa costume contest. Although marami nang sasali, those participants were actually somehow a little bit forced to participate. So in my mind that time, we were five in our team. So I asked them if they'd like to join me in the costume contest. And I was like discussing it to them, like, my plans, what's my costume, what would, costumes that would fit to each of our members. And somehow I also ended up forcing them. But eventually I told them that if it's okay with them, then go. But if not, then it's okay as well. But it would be great kung kaming lahat maka-appeal sa costume contest. And there were like some problems with the of course the costumes. And I've actually, even if I can remember, I'm also nagtatahi ng costume for Supergirl. And we find a lot of other missing parts of the costumes for each individual, just to make sure na kaming lahat would be participating. Lima lang naman kami sa team. And you would be surprised that the five of us actually participated. And that made our the different leadership within our department happy. And funny is sa team namin, um, kami lahat, I mean, four of us were actually villains. Somehow villains and heroes, but yung isa sa amin is hero. So we were actually, I was actually doing um, the, nakalimutan ko, naka-green ako with a red hair. Um, Basta yung isang kasama ko, he was in a Joker costume. The other one was Harley Quinn. The other one was Catwoman. And the other one, which is the hero, si Supergirl. Ako, Poison Ivy yun, green. Poison Ivy because back then my hair was red. So sabi ko, take advantage of the red hair and let's look for a costume that would fit the red hair. Dapat nga, kasi nga red hair ako, dapat jean gray sana. Kaya lang wala akong naisip or wala akong available na costume at that time. But the good thing about that example would be that every one of us participated and hindi siya naging force, kundi every one of us enjoyed participating on that event. And I think one of the reason why it went well is that again, it's effective communication with your team members. Again, with in mind in communicating with them would be respecting them, respecting their ideas, respecting their wants, and effectively also sharing your ideas. Hindi naman kailangan force, but it would be inspiring. It would be in an inspiring way and encouraging way. The same way that Luffy did from um, did when he talks to his crew, and yun nga, you just have to be respectful. You need to be an effective communicator, and at the same time use your influence to inspire others. So, ayun. So, ano, Team One Piece ka na ba? Kung hindi pa ay don't hesitate to watch the movie. Marami po kayong matututunan. And that's it for our third episode today. And I hope again, a reminder to everyone, Monday, October 30th will be the barangay election day, and I hope everyone would be, responsible citizens. Please don't forget to exercise your right to vote, and please do vote wisely. Isipin po natin sa ating mind na again, sino po bang mga leaders ang sa tingin natin ay makapagdadala sa ating community to success. So, wag po tayo magpapadala sa, yung mga manipulation, but instead, let's see the characteristics na makikita natin sa bawat leaders na ating iboboto this coming Monday. So, yan lang po for today's episode, and hopefully by our next episode, baka tayo po ay magkaroon ng cooking showdown or magkaroon po ng guest sa ating next episode. And I hope you guys are safe. Kung umuulan man dyan, kung nasaan kayo, kung mainit, sana po nakapagkape kayo kung sobrang ginaw, or nakapag-shake naman kayo kung napakainit na panahon. At huwag pong kalimutan, kung wala kayong ginagawa and you want to enjoy, you want to relax, tambay na po kayo dito lamang sa Tambay with Janey.